Hey everybody, it's Mr. Worden. It's been a long time since I've done a League of Legends VoD review, so I'm trying to get back into that. This particular one is of my own gameplay, which is struggling sorely. So with that, we'll get right into it. Keep in mind, Sun Tzu, every battle is won before it is fought. It is all in your mind here, especially in something like esports. So let's get started. First up, this VoD is kind of like a partial apology to our League of Legends teams. We haven't been coaching this season like we have in the past. I think Mr. Smith and I have both just been super overwhelmed. Part of that is helping our brand new Rocket League teams with matchmaking. Part of that is hanging out with our Connected Camps coaches, which is part of the deal. Unfortunately, you guys don't get a Connected Camps coach at the moment. It's just Rocket League and Overwatch that are getting that. So we'll try to get you guys some more attention and some more coaching soon. So with that in mind, basically, like, part of this is just to try to model some good practice behavior. First thing that you should know about this game I played was that it was right after I had coffee first thing in the morning, which is like most productive part of my time of day. This is on a Saturday morning. And I've been so tired lately. Like, if I play at night, my performance is just super bad. So you guys should always be aware of how you're feeling, how rested you are, what's on your mind. And in this case, if I play like a Saturday or Sunday morning game, that's probably my best time of day. Second part of this is that I was able to go on a 3 or 4 mile run before then too. One thing that's well documented is if you can get some sustained cardio before you practice, you'll have a much improved session and retain a lot more and learn a lot more than if you just come into that statically. It has to do with the elevated heart rate, more oxygenation to the brain. You'll be thinking clearer and you'll be making new mental connections, which is what we call learning, a lot better. So if you can do this post-exercise, that's always suggested. Even some jumping jacks or burpees or something like that before you play, get the blood moving, that's a good idea. Second thing I want to model is to make sure that you guys are setting goals, that the goals are specific enough that you can track them and use some kind of game metrics to do that. Of course, we have the awesome Mobalytics package, that's one option. And to try to like play with a certain purpose in mind. And then last up, anytime you play, it's suggested that the optimal spot is you get about 3 hours of gameplay time. You spend about 1 hour reviewing gameplay footage and trying to analyze how you're doing as a result of that. The very best games are the ones you narrowly lose. This one luckily was a narrow loss because most of the games I've been playing have been pretty severe losses. So just all things to keep in mind, should be part of your practice cycle. I think a lot of you veterans know this, but it's easy to forget and just play games and play games and play games, especially with how busy we are these days trying to make distance learning happening like that. Alrighty, so I've got some goals for this preseason. One thing that I'm trying to do is if I'm jungling, then I'm going to try to improve my clear time on Diana. It's not exactly the fastest first clear, although she's crazy fast late in the game. I'm trying to get under a 4-minute clear time consistently with at least 67% health and at least 1 potion left. So part of doing that is kind of kiting around a little bit. I'm not exactly a ranged champion, so haven't figured out how to have the hits not land on me. If you guys can tell me that, that'd be sweet. But at least I can kite the camps around towards the next camp and minimize my run times. If I'm laning, I'd like to be hitting always 6 CS a minute. Even in a tough matchup, I'm trying to get 7 CS a minute in a winning matchup. Some of that might involve mid lane camp stealing of enemy raptors and stuff like that too. That's fine, it's all fair game. I'm currently working on my Katarina, and I also feel somewhat comfortable on Yasuo, at least with the new items and stuff like that. I haven't checked out Akali or Ahri, but that's going to be my champion pool for this season. All kind of really fun to play, really dynamic, engaging. I know that they're like a hard skill champion, but I just enjoy that more, so I'm going to go with it. Next up, I'm trying to maintain my idea of being all over the map and playing the entire map. At the same time that I feel like I also need to take runes like Conqueror and the one that heals you when you do just generic damage. So I feel like I need things off the Conqueror tree and the not electrocute tree, you know, the red ones. I need the red ones and the lifesteal and stuff to maintain my late game fighting. So I'm trying to balance that. I think I switched from Lichbane to the phase rushy one. I forget what it's called of the mythological items. And then last up, my very biggest problem is that I apparently have terrible judgment, even though I have very good map awareness. So I have some cool Tobii eye tracking data that's basically seeing, yes, I know exactly who's on the map when I dive in and try to like drop a ulti on everybody around me. And yes, I did deliberately head into the middle of that, knowing it was going to be a 1v5 with my teammates a couple steps behind me. As an assassin, I cannot keep being the first person to engage, but I just get antsy just go for it. So that's bad. Specifically, what I was thinking about when this match started was I queued up for mid lane first and jungle second. If I was mid laning, I wanted to get 7 CS per minute. I wanted to ward well, which I usually do okay, avoid ganks, avoid needless deaths. And then I just kind of wanted to gradually bully the opponent around until I could build a 1 to 2 level advantage. And then from that point forward, build something like Magi Soul Stealer and try to snowball out of control. Whereas if I landed in jungle, then I was going to try to land a successful level 3 gank. Diana does that okay. She can get to level 3. The laners are still level 2. She lands a QE combo, couple hits, and then drops W, usually enough to take somebody out as long as your other laners are with you on that. And then I was going to just try to repeat gank that lane and just try to snowball that lane out of control. I was not going to plan on pathing to whatever lane is losing. I wasn't planning on pathing up against a tank since I don't really know how to deal with tanks still. And I figured I cannot depend on a solo queue team very well, so I was going to try to ninja objectives using cross-map play concepts. Otherwise, I was going to have to steal unless my team was well set up and already dominating, in which case it's no big deal if you have lane prio in both lanes and everybody's with you, then that's not an issue. So that's kind of the concept of what I wanted to do. Let's take a quick look at some mobalytics data. Here's the post game. I'm going to spoil it for you. Ooh, that's probably too small to see. Let's see if I can make that bigger. All right, there we go. Okay, so spoiler, my team lost. It wasn't too lopsided of a defeat. I think I told you guys that already. Right from the start, we saw that we had a Zed going into Yasuo, and the Zed was the strongest player on our team. We figured he would carry. He and I were joking around in chat about that beforehand, and sure enough, he did wipe the floor with the Yasuo early on. And then I got a fair number of kills early on, but eventually accumulated 11 deaths. So despite hitting my CS target, I think I had the highest CS in the game, and I put out a good amount of damage. I'm going into fights and dying rather than going into fights and surviving. This continues to be a bad trend. I'm embarrassed to say I did buy a control ward, and even though I tried to split push, I did not pick up any turrets. Our team just didn't have any late game pressure anywhere, and me split pushing was really more of a ruse to try to draw off 3 or 4 opponents and buy time for my team, which of course also resulted in a death, but at least my team had time to clear out the base and get the inhibitor back online and stuff like that. So kind of a sacrificial lamb there. Okay, let's get started on the play. Just a sec. Should pop right up here. Let's see if it does. No, it's not popping. Hold on. How about now? Hey, there we go. All right, so I'm just gonna leave it on directed camera. I warded the spot I thought they might invade from. I was hoping that support would ward the other pathway on the river there. Oh, you can see me like getting nervous about an invade. I've just been invaded too many times not to ward at least one of those 2 pathways. Whatever, you can ping that. Ward's perfectly fine. I'm just worried about like that 3 or 4 person late invade. And I'm back at the camp right on time. I really want the support or somebody to keep an eye out, you know, like right over here. Oops, we don't want directed camera. Shoot, okay, there we go. So I'm trying to start to pull the camp. I'm planning on a level 3 gank bottom. I communicated that with my team already. They all seemed like they were in a pretty good mood. Nobody was tilted or flamey or mean or anything. It's weird that the items don't burn anymore. I'm used to seeing somebody at like 1 health go down, but that's not always the case on the bigger ones. Yeah, health is not good. Raptor camp's doing a ton of damage. It sure would be cool. There we go. That's not terrible. It would be cool to kite them down farther. But at that point, the big raptor's range, so I gotta practice kiting back a little bit. I'm watching bot lane at this point. Eye tracking says I'm pretty good at not fixating on any particular thing. Oh, there we go. I have a little more practice kiting the raptors. I guess you want to bring the other raptor in on the 3rd hit there to do area attack damage. I'll have to practice that. Yep, our Zed we figured would be way ahead early on, and until the Yasuo hit his 0-10 power spike, that was a good lane. And I believe I've drunk. Oh yeah, here comes my 2nd potion. So not exactly good clear. I think I did ping. I don't think the pings are showing up in this replay. And I'm trying to get that flank. I figured nobody had vision in the river this early because it's pretty low elo. And I'm just going to walk right up, which is awesome. Nice stun by the Lux there. Good follow-up from Ezreal. I think they end up blowing this lead. I think that Ezreal plays too aggressive and gets caught out, and the Lux is not bad. Given that we just won bot lane and that mid lane's rocking it and has 2 kills already, I was feeling good about this particular Scuttle Crab. I'd seen in the pregame stats on Mobalytics that the Urgot I'm going up against has a super high win rate. So I was pretty much worried about him and playing a little nervous the whole time. And sure enough, you see how the Urgot went for a 2 buffs and an invade here? I'm sorry, 3 buffs. Went Gromp, Gromp blue red, so he's also got level 3. And he's coming in for an invade. And I'm a little worried about this, to be honest, too, especially since it was pretty clear that I was down bot side and he knew he could get up here before me. So I see that ping come in. I'm about to drop a ward over the wall. I was going to check that bush and drop a ward right up there, knowing that he had just pinged, and he had basically like pinged a little sooner than I thought. So that was a bummer. And I thought I outsmarted him on that. I thought that was a big brain play to blast cone the opposite direction like that. And I just needed to be a little faster. So this is a case where I kind of wish I'd taken celerity, you know? A little bit more speed and I'd be able to do some weird plays like that. At the expense of late game damage when you really kind of want Conqueror for those big brawls. Anyway, just waiting for the right amount of money to get an item, since that's obviously not an opportune time to back. Forget what I'm buying here. There we go, Dark Seal. Plan is to snowball. I don't know if you guys are watching, but there was a bronze player on skill capped challenger guides. Sorry, no, skill capped guides. I'm thinking challenger pro replays is a different thing. Anyway, they're giving him like 1 coaching session every couple weeks or so. And he's trying to get to platinum in about 2 months. And one of the things they talked about is always taking Dark Seal. Even if you may not end up snowballing, it's the attempt to try to snowball and go the game without depths. It's something that incentivizes good habits. So it seems to be working for them, and you can't argue with like pro level coaches like Hector and McBays. At this point I was gonna do Krugs, but I saw that that's a pretty good position. This was warded, and I had no idea, so they're getting better about warding. They don't seem to be retreating very fast, though. I'm not sure they quite know how fast I can go. And at this point, they're playing safe enough that that gank is not going to go anywhere, and then they come right back out quite aggressively there. I was surprised. Yeah, nothing happening there, so I back off. Don't force a bad gank is something I've been told. And by the way, our top laner gets stomped. The Annie wipes him out. I think he's like 0-11. Let me check stats. Oh, sorry, he's 0-9 by the end of the game. And he typed in chat a couple times like, why am I not coming topside? And first of all, I don't have the economy of motion to path around that much and still maintain my CS and still maintain ganks on the lane that I think should be winning. On the squishy target lane, basically. And secondly, I don't want to go in and like fight a fed Annie. She'll just CC me and then drop a ton of damage. I did not kite that back at all. That is old man slackerhood right there. I gotta do better. All right, so I'm staying ahead of the Urgot in terms of CS. We've each landed, I believe, 2 ganks, one of which he died on, and one of which I didn't get a kill on. So we're standing kind of even there. Well, technically, he's got multiple. Oh yeah, that wasn't even up. And what am I thinking? This is like me at my most aware. It's just slow. It's kind of hard to watch compared to like pro play. If this is me like in the morning on a cup of coffee after a run, I don't want to see me late at night. I'm like tired after a long day. I saw the Annie disappear from there. So I was gonna go try to do the usual, but she ended up pulling out of that pretty fast and I didn't even realize. I did not want to do that. I did think that my Mordekaiser could probably use something. I had this like spider sense that the Urgot was right around there trying to get ready to gank him because I saw him starting to push out his wave and I figured it would be super tempting for him. Oh, good pings on the Yasuo. Yeah, the Yasuo was getting stomped by Zed, but he actually was a pretty solid player. He was doing fine. And here's me trying to basically just keep the lane in a neutral state while the Yasuo's away. I am not trying to steal farm. I'm genuinely like, well, that farm's gonna go to waste anyway. I might as well keep it from bouncing off tower. And if I can like harass the Yasuo at any point too, that'd be awesome. The Yasuo was definitely running around enough to keep his shield up though. So I think I wasted a bunch of Qs just to drop his shield. And I think that there were a couple times where he was really pretty quick on Eing into me. I think at one point late in the game, he used his E to hide his third Q. Yep. 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 There's no flash away from that. I guess he didn't hide his third Q. I just wasn't paying enough attention. Oh my goodness. Okay. Our two bot lane player groups, I don't think either of them was particularly good. The Blitzcrank was solid, but our Ez died needlessly. The Misfortune wasn't exactly doing anything amazing. I don't know. Oh, at some point, I think later I dragged the cards around correctly. I've at least learned how to do that, so when you get tabbed, the lane assignments are all set up right. I see that my Zed's good to go. I saw that the Urgot is taking Rift Herald, so as per goals, I'm always going for a cross-map play so that nothing is too heavily contested. I need a red sweeper and I need a control ward. I shouldn't have done that. But we're good, we're good. All is well. And the Zed's got some crazy outplays here, escaping from these three-person ganks. Yeah, he's calling for assistance. We're gonna get this dragon instead. There we go. And I think our Zed did go down on that. I'm not sure why he stayed in lane that far up when he knew everybody was coming. And at this point too, I think it's time for the Mordekaiser to die. Oh, maybe he stayed to try to thwart the Rift Herald. There's nothing we can do for that turret. If I walk up there, I'll just die. I'm trying to do something smart instead of something that like feels like I'm saving somebody. Nothing like League of Legends to teach you to be heartless. There we go. And a 1-for-1 in that situation, I'll take it. The Fed Urgot ends up being the problem, in case you guys can't tell already. One part of that is, I don't think I know how to deal with tanks, and I don't think that the Zed can deal with tanks. I think that the two of us who are doing well, me and Zed, just could not do anything to him. And meanwhile, he was putting out adequate damage to shred us. And then having Yasuo and Misfortune dealing some additional damage certainly doesn't help. All right, thought here is keep farming up on the safe side of the map. Farming is going pretty well, honestly. And there keep being opportunities where the other bot lane is pushed up to try to get a kill and keep... I wouldn't say that's a winning lane, but at least it's not... It's a lane where I can still do something. And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, no, 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 no. I need the farm. That is a temptingly pushed up spot though. So what am I? Nope, Zed's on the way. Yeah, I think I go in with him on this one. I'm a little late to the party. And definitely late to the party. Okay, so at this point, I had this jungle sense that the Urgot is probably clearing blue. just based on the timing of where I'd last seen him. And since the Zed's roaming back and he's totally up for a fight, I ping, and yay, teammate responds. I love the Zed. Sweet. We get the blue, we get a shutdown on Urgot. I get an extra camp or two out of it. Good stuff. That made me feel real good. And now I've got 2 stacks on Dark Seal finally. Oh well. And their Lux kind of knows what's going on too. That's cool.
Turret plating will fall soon.
Yay! Opportunistic plays. Being greedy. I'm pinging the Blitzcrank, I'm pinging him, and I'm like, do I leave him to die on his own? I can't quite totally leave him to die. I at least need to like posture like I'm gonna do something. I had no intention of going back into that fight though. Yay! Chunk of damage, no return. Ezreal picks up the kill on that skill shot. See, this game is going so well. How could I possibly throw this, right? A lot of my early games seem like this, like, oh, this is going great. I'm a little slow on that Q, and it always has a little less range than I think it's gonna have. Okay, this was kind of fun. I did not realize they had a ward in that next bush. That's a bummer. Honestly, I think time could have been better spent just roaming. I'm not sure. I don't think anything good came of this. Yeah, at this point I'm like, okay, enough. You guys know the idea behind sunk investment costs, right? There we go, there we go. Okay, was that worth the amount of time I spent there or not? I'm not sure. Urgot's almost caught up to me in farm. I guess I'm ahead of him in assists at least. Yeah, technically I'm still ahead of the Urgot. Man, our top lane is getting wiped out though. Okay, so this time I'm planning on farming blue side up since most of my camps should be coming back up. Looks like I'm gonna catch a wave there too, just to stabilize that lane just a little bit. I figured they would escort that in. Good for them for not bothering. I think the low elo play there would have been to walk that lane all the way in. And I kind of thought they were there, but I didn't realize it was the Yas. I thought it would be just the Urgot. Okay. Again, I need to take celerity. I really gotta rely on my speed. And here I'm like, whew, I made it. Could I have not just walked a little bit farther? Oh, it was a shutdown too. That was sad. I thought I was out of that home free. Like I thought I had just barely escaped walking into the Yasuo there. And so at this point, that I think is where the game turned. That is 2 major kills on the Urgot. He's now got 400 shutdown gold. He's got enough to go start to buy those ridiculous tank items that I don't know how to counter yet. I mean, Diana's never been good against the tank. At least I don't know how to be good against the tank, but like that's bad. All right, see how my team is setting up for a losing dragon fight? This is the thing that they warn you about. Don't go join your team and fight a losing dragon fight, right? Oh, this just feels wrong. Like we're gonna lose dragon. That's what's gonna happen here. Yep, I can see that they're on dragon. They're kiting it out of the pit there, so I can't even do the over the wall trick and try to steal that way. And there's no way I'm going in on that. Okay, a better jungler than me could have gotten in on that and maybe smited it away. I think I had smite up. I just know I would die if I did that. And again, like that's it. We're not in a good position to team fight. I'm worried about all my camps getting stolen. I'm worried about somebody like just pressuring mid lane again. This is not a good time. I think my team's probably frustrated with me at this point. But I don't see what we're gonna gain out of a team fight in that spot. All they have to do is play safe, stay under tower, stay away from Urgot and Yasuo, and they're fine. Okay, so I got the Annie, but the follow-up was lethal. But I think we end up winning this one. Man, the Yasuo does a lot of damage though. Yasuo is now 2 and 5 on Greaves and 1 item. Oh, don't bother chasing. You're going nowhere, Israel. I take it back. Alright, so we won that fight. I didn't realize they had a ward in that bush. I thought it was totally surprising Annie when that happened. That's a bummer. I guess we both had that one warded. Again, I should buy more control words. I usually do, especially mid laning. I think I buy fewer of them when jungling. I wonder why that is. I guess when you're mid laning, there's like a lot of value to having it in a specific spot that covers, you know, one side of your lane. Makes you feel a lot more secure. When you're jungling, you're all over the map anyway. It doesn't feel as helpful unless you're like contesting an objective, which I'm deliberately trying to not do. Okay, I did not know I was getting collapsed on by Annie and Urgot. I thought I was coming in to help my Fed Zed deal with Yasuo. And I think if I'd gone in a little bit sooner and not waited right there, we could have done enough damage to pull this off, but as it is, I chased into Urgot. I know I saw him coming. I just didn't stop the decision to chase in time. Like I saw the Urgot coming in on that. I know that was in the edge of my head there, and I just went ahead anyway, focused on finishing off the Yasuo. Alright, you guys can see that my deaths are starting to spiral up there. And I think I sold Dark Seal just because, like, what's the point at this point? Even though there is a tutorial to teach you better gameplay as well as be awesome if you do succeed. I was gonna go up there and then I see everybody up there and I'm like, nope, not doing that. Let's go get Raptors and Krugs. And potentially land on Misfortune if she pushes out too far. That's like a major target of opportunity still. I've got to be kiting camps back. I know you clear pretty fast late game, but I should still kite. I just, as the attack speed goes up, I think I actually end up canceling attacks sometimes. I'm not consistent at higher attack speeds in doing that correctly. So my teammates don't ping. Oh, and that hook made the R land wrong. I'm just terrified of that Urgot at this point. I figured we could dive him under tower with 2 or 3 of us there. Was not counting on the additional damage from the people surrounding him. Okay, so at this point, my thought process is that we're going to be down at least one inhibitor. That my team is getting destroyed in team fights over and over again. The Mordekaiser is, let's put it nicely, is a beginning player thinking that they could bring the Urgot into Subterranean Realm and that was somehow helpful. Basically just seal their own death. And so at this point, my thought process is, well, I can see they're going for Dragon. Maybe I can steal. If I can't steal, my best bet is to run topside and actually just hard push that all the way to the other turret. Potentially die in the process, but whatever. And you can see I'm kind of torn on the decision here. I know that we're going to lose the Dragon. And I know that my teammates expect me to go fight the Dragon. But honestly, what are they doing except getting killed? Like, there we go. Our most fed player is dead. What did that accomplish? So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to push this all the way up. Get a little farm. And make it feel like they have to come chase me down on the wrong side of the map from where they really want to be, which is smashing down mid lane. Right? Like, if you were them, and you were this ahead, if you had taken down the Zed, wouldn't you be, like, grouping and going down mid? So what I'm trying to do is like pull off as many of them as possible. Because Diana will take a turret down pretty fast, even at level 13 with kind of mediocre items. Alright, you can see the Lux coming to respond. All I have to do is threaten and see how many of them I can get over here. And I am totally worried about getting flanked, of course. Like, that's what's going to happen to me eventually. Is I will get flanked, but I want to pull off as many of them as I can. And I figure, well, as long as I'm waiting for a bunch of them to come chase me down, might as well get some farm out of it. I was not expecting Yasuo to come over the wall like that. That's a bummer. I was expecting to be able to run and have him chase me around the map a little more, so that didn't go that well. Yeah, I know that. Okay, so this is where my team shouldn't be trying to engage 4v4. Like, what are they doing? We're just feeding Urgot. Like, if Zed had gone bot lane, he could have easily taken out Annie and put some pressure there, and then they'd have to go respawn there. And then the other three could maybe tag team Yasuo together. Like, we need to be doing split pressure at this point, because I don't see team fighting working out. Urgot stands in the front, blasts away. Misfortune stands in the back and blasts away. Lux paralyzes at least two of us. And then Yasuo swoops in. It's bad. Their teamfight damage output is so much higher. And like, we can't take down the Urgot even if we want to. He's got too much armor. Alright, so I think I was aware that was a bad idea to go back into my jungle. I think we're going to try to collapse. Problem is, Urgot's there. What do I do? I have to go mid. We have to fight. We don't have to fight. We should not be fighting. We should just be like playing safe, right? All right, that worked out okay. Good job on the support for sweeping. He had the most, what is it? Most wards cleared. Let's see. Cleared, Urgot had 6, Blitzcrank had 2, I had 1. Nobody else had any. And then wards placed, Blitzcrank had 27. I was in second place at 11. Everybody else had 11 or less, 11 or fewer. So, yeah, all the red wards up was because their entire team was kind of chipping in there, but mostly the Yasuo and the Lux. What's Ezreal doing? Missed last hit there. It's not been great. I think that my CS is good for like total amount of damage dished out. Oh, I ran the wrong direction. Why did it? I don't know what I was trying to do. That was weird. I think I was trying to avoid Annie's big teddy bear thing, and then I was gonna E back to her. I know I saw that fight going on. I don't think I processed that fight going on. Like, the information didn't make it from my eyes to my brain. Yep. We cannot deal with tanks like my entire team. And what items does... He's not even super tanky. Yeah, need some advice from you guys. Alrighty. Rest of this game is fairly predictable. We slowly get crushed. So I won't bore you with any more details. Let's see. Oh, this one. Yeah, we'll call it a day on that. Head back on over here. So that was kind of what I'd consider to be a fairly good game. I thought I was doing well. Early game, I hit my goals. And if you look, my CS did in fact come out pretty well. So here, we'll get those goals back up. Oops, not that. There we go. So if I was jungling, my goal was to land a successful level 3 gank and resume farming. Repeat gank on a winning lane. Avoid ganking for a losing lane. Only go for objectives when a team fight was advantageous, otherwise ninja or steal. That all went pretty well. In general, CSing went well. I need to get some additional speed out of runes or items somehow. I gotta consider dropping a little bit of damage for that. And then, again, my awareness seems to be okay according to Tobii eye tracking systems, but my judgment on fights and when to engage seems to be terrible. There were a couple times where like I wasn't aware of a flank until it was a little too late, but I could have gotten out of there and instead just like tunnel visioned. Not that it's the vision, it's totally like the thought process behind the vision. So I'm gonna try to work on those things. If you guys have suggestions for me too, if you could come up with like your top suggestion, just limit it to the one most important thing I should focus on, because overcoaching is a thing too. Make sure you're just like trying to focus on one or two things at most during a game and really concentrate. Have some metrics in mind for how you do that. Set a goal and then track your progress towards that goal. And when you hit that goal, then go ahead and set a new one. So yeah, apologize again to League of Legends players for not doing some of the same coaching that we did last season. Hopefully things get back to normal. And yeah, hopefully we have a spring tournament bracket too. If not, we'll have a ton of time to practice before next year. So I'll catch you guys later. Bye.